Tesla is seeking 100,000 deliveries for Q3. Tesla is apparently monitoring data usage. We get a new Tesla app feature, and we have the latest episode of FUD Busters. This is Tesla Tidbits episode number 551 for September 30th, 2019. This show is sponsored by my supporter Richard. If you're in the market for a new Tesla, please consider using his referral code. Ask your salesperson to use code Richard174 or go direct to the web link ts.la/Richard174 and pick up a 2,000-mile supercharging credit for your new vehicle. But hurry, that offer ends today. We start with a story from Electrons, where they've obtained a leaked email from Elon last week with designs on exceeding 100,000 deliveries for Q3. Quote, "We have a shot at achieving our first 100,000 vehicle delivery quarter, which is an incredibly exciting milestone for our company," end quote. To do so, they'll need to pull out all the stops. Part of that is ensuring that the company is able to utilize its existing inventory to fulfill Q3 orders. Quote, "The challenge is making sure that we have the right car variants in the right locations and rallying as much as our company resources as possible to help with the end of the quarter deliveries," end quote. As you hear this is the last day of Q3, and we'll know pretty quickly if Tesla hit the goal. Inside EVs will likely have their estimate by Wednesday, and usually, Tesla is on top of reporting its calculated delivery numbers, so I expect we'll know the official number by Friday. We stay at Electrek for a weird one. Some Model 3 owners are beginning to report a data usage tracker on the About screen for their car. In the picture in the article, 0 out of 50 gigabytes is shown clearly between the mileage of the car and the VIN number. For those unaware, all Model S and Model X vehicles ever produced include what Tesla terms as premium connectivity. However, Model 3 owners that didn't purchase long-range cars got what is termed as standard connectivity. This means that those owners would not get satellite maps, live traffic, streaming music, over-the-air updates via cellular, and web browser access. Though since V10, all Model 3 owners now get web browser access and streaming media access while connected to Wi-Fi, which was a welcome surprise to all Standard Range and Standard Range Plus owners. It's interesting to see the counter there, as the amount of data used has never been something Tesla has mentioned as a metric to measure. Moving to Twitter now, where user @CopterTube posted a feature that I missed in the app after the release of V10. A hat tip to longtime overseas Twitter correspondent Vincent for calling attention to this one. A long requested feature, CopterTube shows in its video that you can now control the windows of your vehicle via the app in the event that you want to vent the car or close them if rain strikes while you're away. It works in the same way that the remote sunroof controls behave if you're lucky enough to have that equipped on your car. Kudos for a nice convenience feature that has long been requested. As always, Tesla's getting better over time. Lastly, this episode, we head back to FUD Busters to talk about the Fremont Police Department's Model S, which recently was in the news after having to have other officers take over for it in the middle of a high-speed chase due to low battery. Of course, this made many headlines from outlets that didn't bother to ask the Fremont Police Department the full details on what happened. The department released a statement giving the full context of what happened, and the Cliff's Notes version of this is that it's the equivalent of the officer having forgotten to fill the gas tank of a gas-powered patrol vehicle. The story became a story in the first place after someone listening to police communications reported the incident to local media. That local media then produced a story along with a portion of their radio communications, which ballooned this molehill into a mountain. Here's the Fremont Police Department's explanation of the cause of the issue. Quote, "On Friday afternoon, a patrol officer checked out our Tesla patrol vehicle at the start of his shift and noticed the battery was half charged. A typical battery at full charge ranges from 220 to 240 miles, and during an 11-hour patrol shift, Fremont patrol officers drive approximately 70 to 90 miles. While not policy, we recommend officers begin their shift with at least a half a tank of gas, or in this case, a battery charge of 50%. On this date, our officer driving the Tesla noted approximately 50% of the battery life when he began his shift. While the vehicle is routinely charged between shifts, on Friday the vehicle had just been returned from our corporation yard. The vehicle is regularly returning at the end of every shift with 40 to 60%, if not more, of the battery charge remaining." End quote. Later on in its statement, Fremont PD reiterated that it didn't believe the battery issue impacted the pursuit in any way, saying, quote, "At no time did the battery of the Tesla become a factor in our ability to pursue the suspect or perform our duties. This situation, while embarrassing, is no different from cases where a patrol car runs low or even dry of fuel." End quote. So, there you have it. More FUD busted. I think Fremont PD learned a lesson that maybe it's a good idea to have more than 50% charge going out for a shift, as driving the car hard, just like in a gas car, will cause significantly less range in a vehicle that needs it. I'd personally say that 70% should be the minimum, as this would be about 150 miles of charge ideally, and a minimum of 100 even if driven hard, which is more than the usual patrol usage they mentioned in their statement. That is it for today's show. I do apologize as I can even hear my own voice getting rough as this show continued. So hopefully I can kick this little cold that I've got going on and get back to the dulcet tones that you're all used to shortly. I do want to, as always, give thanks to all my patrons supporting the show at patreon.com/Tesla Tidbits, and as usual, a special shout out to all the super patrons supporting the show at the $10 plus level. They are Drew Schuyler, John Waller, Ryan Scarborough, Lee Sweet, William Henry Crew III, Dorian Steve Guberman, Bruno Kundici, Joey Boots, Ralph and Cheryl Waterhouse, Adam Raymer Brown, Megawatt Photovoltaic Development, Todd Sullivan, Mitch Long, Zortec LED Canada, Morven Ogg, Blake Thompson, Raymond and Deborah Malkowitz, T Sportline, Travis and Cheyenne Rush, Chris Hovis, Craig Murphy, Vicky Kirk, Ricky Johnston, Bien Concepcion, Nathan Garza, Paul Goena, Ed Patterman, and Sunil Joseph. If you have feedback for me, the best way to be heard is to tweet at Tesla Tidbits and use the hashtag AskTeslaTidbits if you'd like your question to be considered for the show. Until next time, keep it charged and hit the road.